Welcome back. The city of Lansing is now considering hitting pause on a new data center, joining a growing list of mid-Michigan communities with moratoriums. News 10's Asia Lawrence has that story.
The city of Lansing has started the process of joining the list of numerous mid-Michigan cities who've adopted data center moratoriums. I'm Asia Lawrence here speaking with council members about what this means and the possible timeline.
Okay, we have a proper motion in place. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
During Monday's Committee on Development and Planning meeting, the resolution was moved that will put a temporary pause on data center development while a zoning ordinance by Councilmember Daniela Navarez-Martinez is being created.
What this does is classifies data centers as a different use and a use that will always be conditional. And so you can't just buy the industrial parcel and put a data center there. You have to, submit a application to the planning department for a conditional use.
Navarez-Martinez recalls the chaotic response from residents following the Deep Green data center proposal.
We've been at this for 6 months, and I've still yet to hear a convincing argument along those lines about why I, as a Lansing resident, should want a data center.
But the Lansing Regional Chamber of Commerce says the argument was one of economic development and that the data center would have strengthened the economy. They said Tuesday, quote, the city of Lansing had an opportunity to lead on the $120 million Deep Green data center development and chose not to. Now, rather than learning from that decision, city leaders are considering a moratorium on data centers altogether. This might as well be a closed sign on the front door of Michigan's capital city. Navarez-Martinez believes the proposed 6-month data center moratorium will be enough time for city officials to collaborate and come up with a solution that puts Lansing in the best position.
We need to, foster innovation in our city. And so I think we just need to be mindful when we get proposals to see if they actually make sense for our city.
Council members could vote on the issue following a hearing on July 13th. Here in Lansing, I'm Asia Lawrence.